Welcome back, Lords Mobile fans, to the video absolutely none of you have been waiting for. This is how not to Gryphon trap by the Lemon ChaCha himself. So we've got over 20 marches coming at me. I've put into talents, I've set the random relocator up ready to go, so I'm nice and fast. What I am going to forget to do on this one is actually swap gears. So you can see I've got 20 marches coming at me. You can see a lot of it is T4, quite slow marches there. We've got this IG guild, they are quite fat, they got that big fatty Skylab up to the left. And this Gryphon trap is quite free to play. The gear definitely would have helped, but we're going to have a look at exactly what happens after this one. I've only got pretty much 80% of my troop comp at this point. So I was expecting it to hurt, wasn't really expecting to get zeroed, but we're going to have a look anyway. It's pretty beautiful, I must say, dying in style. And as I mentioned, I don't have a full Gryphon trap comp here. I've only got about 1.7 million troops, and I could have a max hideable comp of 2.1 mil, so that extra 400k T4 could really help right now. But you can see that Skylab up to the left has just started sending slow marches, which look like T5. So I'm going to get ready to hit that homeward bind, and this is going to be pretty brutal for not only them, but also for me. So here we go, hit that homeward bind, the troops come rushing home. What I should be doing now is putting myself into gear, but for some reason I just didn't even think about it. It's been a while. Random relocate away, 280 mil, and I'm down to 225, completely obliterated. Whack on that 24-hour shield, and I can see from my might and this report 12k survived that didn't go too well for me. I got 5 million kills in the process, but I also lost 1.7 million. Absolutely brutal, and we are going to check out the reports, of course. So starting from relatively near the bottom, you can see I'm still actually capping marches with only 500k troops, and also not capping marches with only 500k troops, but none of these guys messaged me to say you just got zeroed, because they lost over 5 million troops as well. I went up quite a lot of kills, and the Skylab guy did end up losing a fair bit of T5, which we'll be having a look at by the end of this as well. So you can see they're just slowly grinding down my comp, just taking all those reds. I did have 420k infirmary space. I do need to work on that. I would advise having absolute maximum infirmary space for Gryphon trapping. It's going to mean less losses when something like this happens. But a really brutal hit for both sides. There's a big T5 march in that one, 192k dead. Again there with 113k red, he did lose a nice juicy bit of T5, which we like that. And towards the start there you can see 1.7 million troops, and it all begun with that. This is what you get in the Sanctuary when you are zeroed as a Gryphon trap. I have been working on it a little bit. As you know, it does take a very long time to get T4 out of the Sanctuary, but what you also know is T5 is expensive, and he took 183k dead there, 111k dead on the first one. So already over 200k there, over 400k with over 200k T5 deads in that one. So this Skylab guy really suffered in the process of Zero Moon. He didn't have too much to say afterwards, but in all honesty, neither did I. But you can see, built back to 290 mil. There is the relatively free-to-play gear that I never use. Whack into the talents so we can have a look what kind of stats we're playing with. So even though the gear is pretty bad, not too fruity at all, you can see that the stats definitely would have helped, because it puts me at low 300s, which is definitely better than nothing at all. Really don't think I would have ended up zeroed. It still would have hurt, I still would have burnt probably, but with these Gryphon traps, with these familiar updates and the counter updates, if you get hit properly, you are always going to burn as a Gryphon trap. But there's my new comp, looking pretty juicy, and I will be working on that a little bit more. So we are going to have a quick little bit of science. I've rebuilt up to 283 mil. We've got almost a full comp now. I'm actually going to be using my gear in this one, but I'm actually going to try using an infantry front line, just to have a look how that goes. But the problem is with using an imp front line is so many people send infantry because it carries the most and it's at the top, that all of that inf on inf is going to cause quite a lot of damage. And you can imagine, even if anyone sends a leaderless cav with the update, the counter research, I believe it's going to hurt a little bit. So you can see there, 1.8 mil for me on that one, 4.5 mil, that was a leaderless cav march causing 4.5 mil damage. So after this one, I decided infantry wedge is not the best. I'll probably go back to my cav ways to gobble up that inf. But with the Gryphon trap, as you know, it's all a learning curve, and I really do enjoy bringing you this. I hope it gives you some information that you might find interesting. And a big shout out to Loco, the main man. This is actually his Gryphon trap. He lets me play on it and cause some chaos. He has got his own YouTube now as well, Loco Gaming. I'll leave that in the link below. Please do go and check that out. But yeah, I will be back with some KVK action from Size Matters very soon, so please do like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the very near future. Thank you and stay safe.